The Hustle and Giggle Podcast.
Welcome to the Hustle and Giggle Podcast, episode 6. You made it to episode 6, which means either you really like us or you've run out of podcasts. Either way, we're so glad you're here. Expect real talk, lots of laughs. Episode 5 was definitely proof of that. And those OMG moments. Oh, and of course, I'm sure Carmen will have an app that she can recommend to us all. Mm-hmm. So whether you're commuting, cleaning, pretending to work, or just hiding from your responsibilities, this one is definitely for you. Let's jump in, get real, and giggle our way through this together. Let's do this. So, what have we been up to? Karma.
So the usual working, exercising and socialising, all the ings. But I did have a fab day out in London on Monday. I did a self-found tour via my mate ChatGPT around Chelsea. And so I basically typed in what is there that's Tudor near here that I can go and have a look at. So it said it was going to be 1.5 miles, but it was 5 miles, which Abe's just about forgiven me for. But we did go and see the site where Henry VIII's manor house was, Chelsea Manor House, and where Thomas More lived as well. So
Fantastic.
Yeah, proper history hit for me. It was amazing. And Chelsea's just gorgeous.
I know.
And we did have
So
a coffee
pretty.
in Harrods, as you do. So yeah, I've had my history hit. That's it, really.
Wow. The only time, actually, I've ever only been to Chelsea is when I went to the football club. So, there you go.
You need to go back and have a look. It is amazing. Sloane Square. It's all
Yeah.
just stunning. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful place. Lots of money.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Oh, God,
Do
definitely.
you see some of the cars that go around?
Oh my God, and what they're wearing, the clothes, they just walk towards you with this air of money. You decide you step out the way and, yeah.
Bow.
It's mad, yeah.
Brilliant.
What about you, Leslie?
I was in London on Saturday. I was in London with the girls. The girls are my 2 oldest 2 children, sorry. Why am I getting tongue twisted this morning? Yes, so my 2 girls, Laura and Nicole, we went dress shopping. So we have a party coming up shortly, and I was desperate to find a dress. And I don't know about you girls, but sometimes you go with every intention in the world of finding something, and there is just nothing.
Oh, absolutely.
It's so deflating, you know, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to just struggle now to try and find something. So I thought I'll just come home and order lots of stuff. But anyway, so we spent the day in London, which was lovely. I think we'd done about 20,000 steps, me and the youngest, Nicole. And then Laura, I think she did 29,000. So,
Hold
yeah.
on. Where did she go? Where did she go for 9,000 steps and you didn't go?
She got off it or used it and then met us at Marylebone.
Oh, okay.
And then we tried to find out what was going on in London on Saturday because we were on Marylebone Road and we were crossing the road and all these police were stopping everybody. And all of a sudden there was these horses and carts coming along Marylebone Road. Oh, so we actually don't know, even to this day. So if anyone knows why the horse and carts were in London, we believe they were heading to Hyde Park because that's off of Marylebone, the way they were heading. So, yeah, we don't know why that was. But that was interesting. We took nice pictures. Yeah. So, yeah, I love London. What about you? Because I just love the buzz, the different people.
I couldn't do it all the time.
No.
Because you do come home, I was quite knackered on the Tuesday. But yeah, I like the buzz. It's everybody's an individual and everybody's accepted. And yeah, I love it. But yeah, not every day. I think I'd be exhausted if I lived there.
When I used to look after a particular client many years ago, they used to be in Hammersmith. And I used to spend 2 days a week in their offices. And I used to drive, to be fair, but there was one occasion where I had to get the train. And I have to say, admiration for people that do that. And probably people don't do that every day anymore because of hybrid working. But if you had to get on a train, get to Marylebone, then get on the underground, and then get to your destination every single day...
You're knackered before you've started
Exactly.
work. You're exhausted.
Exactly. I like you guys though. I love going into London, but do you know what? There's something nice about getting on the train coming home. Yeah. It's different, isn't it?
So different.
Lifestyle at home is very different, but I like that. So
Certainly is.
So what have I been up to? So I haven't. Well, my back is fixed. Hallelujah. Yay. So I've been back to swimming, back to aqua, which is great. Done a couple of reformer Pilates classes, which we all have since we last met on the podcast, and they've been brilliant. And I do genuinely think that's contributed to my back getting better. Done done some gardening. So I've been a bit like domesticated, if I'm honest, since we've last met. So nothing wow and out there, but back to normality and able to get off of the sofa without holding my back like I'm about 80. So that's great. That's good news. Yeah, that's good news. So what about new stuff then? What about anything we recommend? Leslie, recommendations, new stuff, anything you've done?
Yeah, so with my disaster in London of not finding the right outfit, Kev, my husband, and I went to Milton Keynes. And honestly, it was one of the best days we have had shopping. So our first trip was into Lord's, down on the high street. Sorry, this is not actually in Milton Keynes. This was on our way to Milton Keynes.
I was going to say.
But we went to Lord's, where they sell all the fencing and patio things and everything.
Oh,
so
okay.
we're trying to do up our garden. I cannot tell you how nice them people were in there.
Wow.
So I would thoroughly recommend Lord's to just ask questions. They're on the Gatehouse Road. In Aylesbury.
Oh, in Aylesbury?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
they're
Just
they're
the
near us, aren't they?
nicest people, honestly. So friendly, so helpful.
I know exactly what you mean. It's that place that we all drive past that I've never been in, just past the petrol station.
That's it.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So we went in there. First time we've been in there as well. So went in there, so helpful. They were brilliant, and they delivered all our stuff yesterday, and it was perfect.
Fantastic.
So that was, if I was to recommend anyone, and you're looking for outdoor stuff, fencing, patio stuff, whatever you need for gardening. Definitely recommend that. And then we did eventually get to Milton Keynes. I will get to my point. So we went into Moss Brothers to buy Kev's suit, and I went into Phase A. Again, they were the nicest people. And I think when you're served by such nice people, it makes such a difference. It makes you want to buy from them. They had all the time in the world. Okay, it was Monday afternoon, so they probably were a bit different to a Saturday. But just generally helpful, happy to just accommodate. So, 3 stores I would definitely recommend.
Don't they say that statistically, when you have good or actually bad service, you tell on average 8 people? And then, of course, those 8 people then go and tell, oh, did you know we knew somebody that had really good service at... Actually, so from their perspective, the fact that you've now, stood here today, you've told there's 3 of us as well as you in the room. If somebody asked us at the weekend for... garden equipment or whatever, we'd think about them. So
100%.
it's a great thing to do,
Yeah.
actually. Good service should be good anyway, but it's not always, is it?
No, exactly. So to have that was just made such a difference. We was buzzing all the way back. And thankfully, I got my dress.
Yay! Oh, fantastic.
Not from Lord's.
She's going to be wearing a couple of patio slabs.
Start a new trend. You could, yeah.
Thought there.
Love that. So, in terms of recommendations from me, something I really love, and I wrote about it actually on my LinkedIn profile, is we completely binge-watched on Bank Holiday Monday, Clarkson's Farm.
Brilliant.
Absolutely had no or probably negative views of Jeremy Clarkson because of his arrogant reputation that he had when he was doing Top Gear and all the other things he was doing. And my goodness me, actually my perception of him and the fact that, yes, I know it's cameras and I know we probably don't see all of it, but the fact that he gets his hands dirty, gets on with it, and he is open to suggestions, he listens to people, and I just think he's done so much for the world
that community
of
farming. Totally.
He must have done so much. But I actually really like him. I like his partner. I think she's fantastic. I like all of them. I think it's great. So we literally, should we watch the next one? Should we watch the next one? That was Bank Holiday Monday, which was superb.
Brilliant.
And then the other thing is I've listened to this podcast for quite a while actually, but I listened to it the other day and I did laugh. I laughed a lot. Sheerluck's podcast, and it's this lady who started it many years ago. I think she started it when she was at university, and it's quite luxury clothing, home interiors. It's absolutely huge. She's grown this amazing business. But guess what they talked about? Salmon sperm
No.
facials.
Oh, that's so yesterday.
Oh, so 6 weeks, no, 12 weeks ago.
Oh my God, yeah.
So there we go.
So if anyone doesn't know, on our first podcast, we spoke about salmon sperm, didn't we? So if you want to go back to episode 1, you can hear our versions of salmon sperm, which is very funny.
Hilarious.
Oh, wow, out of all the things you could talk about.
I know, it's really good. I really like their podcast. They do loads of them, though, because they have home, clothing, but brilliant, really nice people, and I like the format, and there's a little bit of similarity actually to us, which is quite interesting.
Brilliant. To listen to that
it's
then.
good.
Yes, definitely.
What about you, Karma?
Yeah, it's going to be another app,
Yay!
isn't it? Yay!
Don't let us down.
Right, this is an app that you didn't even know you needed in your life. So have you ever been sat in the cinema watching a film and you think, my God, I really need a wee, and I don't know when to go because I don't want to miss something? There is an app called I've got to remember what it's called.
I need a wee.
It's called Run Pee. So you can run for a pee. And yeah, it tells you the best time to go and relieve yourself.
No way.
And so, for example, the Mission Impossible film, the new one that's out, there are 4 opportunities to go for a wee. So that is an app that you didn't know you need, but everyone needs in their life. And it can send you a reminder to say, now is a good time to go to the toilet.
So that was my question. So if somebody looked at their phone during a film, they'd probably annoy you because their screen would light
God,
up.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you'd do that before.
Oh, yeah, you
You'd
set a
know
reminder,
beforehand,
yeah. Yep.
and you'd know that 10 minutes and 30 seconds in was a great time, so you could force a wee out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then back to the film.
And then back to the film. And also, you ever sit there? I mean, I love Marvel. I love the Marvel films. And there's often bits in the extras, in the credits at the end. And sometimes you sit in the cinema because you don't know if a film's going to have an extra in it. So this will tell you whether there's an extra. So whether stay with your bum on the seat or you can leave. So
Have a wee on the seat.
Have a wee on the seat. Yeah, that's a good time right at the very end to have a bee.
When we start, we should do this. When we share the links to the podcast episodes, we should be sharing your app.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Because I love that one. I think that's fab.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. I will share Run Pee with the world.
Run Pee.
Yeah, run for a pee.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Never let us down, do you?
I know. I'm going to run out of apps. So I
don't think so. I don't know where you get them from, though. I want to know, actually, how did you find this one?
Yeah, this one I Googled. What are the random apps that are out there? Because I like random shit. So it came up with this one.
I love that.
I do. Perfect.
Fantastic. Anything else, or is that quite enough for us to absorb?
That's it. I've got another app, but I'm saving that till the next time. That's not quite as random. That's more useful, maybe, but I'll save them. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll save them. And I will start thinking of other things other than apps.
No,
because
don't.
I
love
literally
them.
will run
I
out
love
of
them.
apps.
I don't think you will.
You're our app lady, so that's fine. Keep going.
I don't think you will. I thought it'd be quite interesting today. So for those listening in and don't know how we know each other, we all met at a networking event 6.5 years ago. Leslie was a member, and Karma and myself turned up on the day as visitors. And I sat next to Leslie, and I have to say, she made me feel so at ease, made me feel so welcome. Aww. And I walked away feeling like I was a part of her family, which was really lovely, because networking events are not the brilliant, sometimes they don't necessarily all make you feel like that. Some do, some don't. So I thought it might be nice to have a discussion around the networking groups, not the ones we go to necessarily, but what do we like about them, what have we learned from them, what things have scared us, what we would recommend people, business people who maybe haven't been to a networking meeting before. Who wants to go first?
Well, thank you
Come
so
on,
much
Leslie.
for saying that.
Oh,
That's very
it's true.
kind of you.
It is very true.
And I'm glad I made you feel like that, because as much as I go into these networking groups and everyone probably thinks, I'm the bubbly one and, I guess not have feelings is the word, and I just go in and just want to meet everyone. I'm really quite a nosy person. I like to know what people do. So
I noticed that as well.
Yeah. Thanks. But I'm interested in people, so I love asking questions, and if that makes people feel at ease, that's great. I have been to some networking groups, and I remember one time I was talking to somebody, and I'm not even kidding you, for 20 minutes, it's got to be 20 minutes, they just talked. And I mean, I know I can talk, but they just talked about themselves. I don't even think if they walked away and someone said, who were you just talking to? I don't even think they would have known my name.
Wow.
And I think that is some of the issues at networking. People are just, if they know what you do and they only want to talk to you, they'll just come up to you and, things like that. Whereas with networking, you really have to find out about everybody, because the main thing is, it's not that one person in the room. It's that person knows so many people. And as long as, you come across on a two-way conversation, they'll be, more than likely say, oh, I met this lady that does, finance. Why don't you give her a call? Yeah. I think that's an issue. You do have people that go for the wrong reasons. Yeah. Whereas I'm quite chatty and nosy, so I just want to go and just be friendly, I guess. I guess that's me, isn't it?
Yeah, no, there's a little bit of similarity there with me. So I have this thing about referrals, and I won't refer people unless I've either got to know them really, really well, and by that I mean met them a few times, or I've used their services. And particularly with my clients, because that's then a bad reflection on me if that person doesn't do or deliver what I expect and what they expect. So I don't necessarily agree with some of the networking groups where you have to refer people.
Yeah.
And you don't know those people and you haven't worked with those people, because it's a bit, for me, it's a bit like that whole social media. It's a bit about being authentic, being you, building credibility, and actually, building relationships with people, getting to know them and trusting them before you recommend them. And I feel quite strongly about that. And I absolutely will not recommend people for that reason, because that's my reputation at stake.
Absolutely.
And I don't want my reputation to be damaged, and I don't want my clients not to have the kind of delivery that I would expect them to have.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't test drive, or you wouldn't recommend a car without test driving it first. You need to have used their services.
Yeah.
That was a bad analogy, but
it.
you need to know. Yeah, otherwise, you're the one recommending, so the buck stops with you, really.
Yeah.
So I
Absolutely.
totally agree.
Yeah. What about you? What your
Well,
thoughts?
I think we all know my feelings on networking. So full disclaimer, I was terrified the first time I went networking, which was because of Leslie, actually, at the Curry Club. You suggested coming along.
Hold on. You were terrified because of Leslie?
Because of Leslie, complete opposite experience
you
to
went
Amanda.
to the networking.
No. Thanks. You sold it to me, and I thought if they're all like Leslie, it'll be lovely. And then I met Amanda, and I was like, oh, yay.
Total opposite. No.
Everyone's like that.
For transparency here, we've all got We Love Leslie t-shirts on today.
Including Nathan. So I was terrified of the first one, and I still don't enjoy it now. So I don't think it's as much imposter syndrome as I'd just rather be invisible syndrome. And I got myself so worked up once going to a charity networking event that I drove into the car park and thought, no, I can't do this. And drove straight back out, drove around the block going, for God's sake, gave myself a virtual slap. Drove back in, parked up, went in, and had a lovely time.
Wow,
so I think it's the fear beforehand that gets me. So that's not a one-off to drive straight past an event.
Wow.
And sometimes you'll give me a lift, Amanda, and I'm like, damn it, I can't, I can't drive past again. I mean, pushing through those fears though, that has brought some amazing personal friendships. Including you two. It's brought some amazing clients our way. So I don't know. I think I just get really self-conscious doing it. Especially when I started. And when I get self-conscious, I get a bit awkward and I get a bit clumsy. So then I think the first one that I went into, I spilt, this wasn't the Athena one, this was a Buzz one actually, which is another networking group. I spilt coffee. I insulted someone about their height. So I just, They
would have remembered you though, and that was the objective.
I know,
wasn't
but
it?
for all the wrong reasons, So
Do you know what though? It's what's really interesting, and I'm absolutely not saying this because of the relationship that I have with you, but you do not come across like that at all. So from somebody observing you from an outside observation, whether it's a networking event or whatever, you don't come across. So that's definitely an internal fear you have.
Yes.
That you don't portray externally.
Thank you. It's like that swan analogy when you're trying to sort of glide along and underneath you're going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So that goes on most of the time. But that's probably why I only do it, I don't know, probably like once a month. I kind of need to recover from it. So yeah.
Go to a networking event and lay down for 29 days after.
Absolutely. That's it. My social battery is out.
Yeah.
And a lot of these ones now, you do your 1 minute. I even get nervous of doing that. But people do need to know what you do, though.
Yeah.
But you can tell the ones that, I mean, I look at you, Amanda, and you're amazing. You just come so naturally to do it. I'm up there and I can tell my voice is going and everything else. So I guess there's no way of getting over that because I've been doing it for 10 years now and I still don't like standing up for a minute. But I guess if no one knows what I do, then I don't know how you're going to do it. Do you know what I mean? So, but you come across so naturally.
Well, but thank you. But a lot of that is because of, I was lucky enough to be in, corporate career, lots of training, had to do lots of, big pitches to clients, big brands, and you become used to it, don't you? So, but like Karma, and I feel like I'm not just saying this for the sake of it, you don't come across as like being like that. So that's you thinking that. That's not how you come across.
Absolutely.
But, that said, I have to say networking groups are brilliant for business. So
absolutely.
As long as you find the right ones for you, because I think it's really important to go to a few, and then find the one that works for you personally and find the ones that work for your business. But they are brilliant. They are great. And I'd never worked locally. And that was one of the reasons I'd never networked, actually. And that was one of the reasons why I went to the one that we met at. And, whether it's using people for your own business or, just getting to know people, leaning on people, they are fantastic things. They are really
most
good.
Definitely. We've met a lot of people that, through the years and everything else. I remember at the beginning, though, no word of a lie, I was spending money going to these networking events, and I was spending just as much money on the people. Like, I was having a massage, I was doing something else, and my husband was like, are you actually going to get any business out of this? And I was like, maybe one day. I was coming home with everything new. I can't say particular things because I think I still know quite a few people that I bought off of. But yeah, I'd come home with the most random things and he'd be like, you've never done that before. So sometimes I spent more money than I probably ever got back.
Especially as that massage was actually a finance person. Come around mine for a massage. Oh, very funny.
But yeah, it's definitely worth going.
Very funny. Okay, let's move on from that one then. So we're busy. We're all really busy at the moment, and we often talk on our WhatsApp group about how busy we are and whether it's personal busy or whether it's work busy. And I just thought, again, it might be quite nice just to share with our audience how we manage busy, how do we manage our stress levels, how do we cope with busyness, how do we get through being busy but being motivated? Because when you're running a business, you can't not be motivated. You've got clients, you've got suppliers, you've got lots of people around you that you have to be motivated to work with, to talk to. So what are our tricks and tips about how we stay motivated when we're busy? What about you, Leslie?
Oh, that's a good one, to be fair. I mean, sometimes I just say to myself, look, if I just get this stuff done, I can move on and I'll feel so much better. And it's absolutely right. Once you get, I've got 4 tasks ahead of me that I need to do. Once I get one out the way, it's like, oh, yeah, I'm one down. So you do feel better yourself. I love swimming, as, I've said previously. But, yeah, I love my swimming. So, again, like you, I'm back swimming. And doing exercise, doing the running and everything else is good. But when there have been times, I won't lie, that you sort of look at the phone and think, take a deep breath. But I tend to always smile. I don't know. I just think if I smile, I'm coming across as you don't realise the lots of stuff that are happening in the background. But if I just keep smiling, so it's sort of a variety of lots of stuff. I mean, people do say you've got to take time out for yourself. That's very difficult when it is so busy and crazy. But again, try and take time out, even if it's just for half an hour, to go for a little walk or something like that. I never used to do that. I used to be sat at my desk from morning to night. But now, I do say, no, I'm going to go swimming today, or I'm going to go for a run. So, I try and do that.
Yeah, that's good. It's a good idea.
That's important, isn't it? It's difficult, though, when you're kind of on a roll to kind of go, I don't want to stop now. I don't want to break this flow. I don't want to go for a walk. But actually, that's the one thing that kind of really helps. So, yeah. What do I do? Yeah. So I power nap if I can, because if I'm tired, I need a power nap. Obviously, don't do that in the middle of a staff meeting.
What's your power nap then?
My power nap, oh God, well, it's a lottery. So sometimes it can be 5 minutes and sometimes I can lose a couple of hours. It's quite exciting, really, because I never know what's going to happen. Whether it's going to be dark when I wake up. So that's how I deal with the tiredness. I have to power nap. What else do I do? To-do lists. So I brain dump everything that's in my head on a really stressful, because the stress, I think that, I don't know whether you girls feel the same, but the stress seems to build up when it's not just the work, it's personal, it's everything. Everything seems to collide. You have enough hours in the week to do all of these things separately, but then they all come together and everything needs doing. So I brain dump everything, even if that's go and feed the fish in the garden, wash the towels, down to the nitty gritty minutiae of what needs to be done, and then I just blast through them and tick them off. And then I'll reward myself as well. So the less mundane or the more mundane tasks that I really don't want to do, like credit control, I will reward myself with a cup of coffee or a biscuit or a doom scroll on social media. And the other thing that I do as well, it's one of my favourite books. It's called Eat That Frog from Brian Tracy.
Oh, I've never
It's
heard
all
of
about
that.
tackling the really difficult things first.
Oh, wow.
Because it's easy to kind of think, oh shit, I really need to do that, but I've got to make that awful phone call. I don't want to do that. But actually, if you put it off, it's lingering over you all day.
Yeah.
So the theory is that you just start 5 minutes on that, and then the rest of the day flows. And I promise, every time I've done that, my day has gone beautifully. Every time I've put off that thing till the end of the day, it just magnifies and becomes something else. So
That's
yeah, it's
interesting.
a multitude of things, but power nap. Power
love
nap if you can.
I used to work with somebody, marketing agency that I worked for, and one of the directors would literally just turn his chair around and just go to sleep half an hour and come back, and everyone knew he did it, and that was his way of coping. And he just came back. Off he
I
went.
couldn't do that in the office.
Oh, in
I mean,
the
I can do it
office?
at home
Oh, yeah,
when
no,
I'm
in the
working from
office.
home.
Yeah,
But,
in
oh
the
my
office.
God. Maybe I go under my desk.
No, but
Wouldn't
my
know.
Kev does that all the time. He'll
Does he?
fall asleep on his toolbox and he'll be all right.
I've got such an image
Within
now.
5 minutes. We've got lots of images of Kev.
Does he wake up with like a hammer imprinted on the
My
side of his
husband
face?
Yeah, no, he
sitting on his
literally
toolbox.
sits, puts his hand in his head in his hands,
And he can go to
he will
sleep.
go to sleep. It's
Wow.
exactly the same when we go on holiday on the plane. He doesn't like taking off and landing. He will literally put his head on the front bit and he's fast asleep. But to the extent he'll snore.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's impressive.
So, and then he wakes up. Whereas if I have a power nap, I get up so mad.
Yeah,
I'm like,
some
why
people-
did I sleep?
Do you?
Yeah, I get so
Grouchy.
angry.
Grouchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I shouldn't have slept. That's for night time.
The nicest thing about having a power nap, I wear contact lenses, and I often fall asleep without taking the contact lenses out, and then I wake up and I think I can suddenly see, and I've been cured. Like, oh no, I fell asleep with them in again.
Don't they move that? Sorry,
No,
we
you get
completely-
stuck. You kind of,
Don't they
it's
move
not
around at
an
the back of
attractive
your
look when you
eyes?
wake up. There's a bit of dribble. There's a bit of like
Nice.
sticky eye, which is why I do that at home.
But you can see it all because you've got your contact lenses in.
Absolutely, like whoa,
Fantastic. Oh, brilliant.
jump scare.
What about you?
It's interesting what you were saying about that book. That book's fantastic. I ran a training course with that book once. Really good. But years and years ago, when I first started out in my kind of career, I remember doing taking part in a training course on planning and administration. And somebody told us about ABC. So you have a folder and you put sticky label on it. 1A, 1 is B and 1 is C. The C's are, they can wait for a week. So that was when you got letters. That was when you had pieces of paper. But literally the same concept. You know, you focus on the A's. The B's probably need to get done tomorrow or after the A's. But the C's, actually, do you know what? You can leave those for a few days. So hide them away in a drawer so you don't think about them. You can't see them.
Brilliant.
So I always have that in the back of my head. But I'm a massive to-do list. So I know we've talked about this before, but mentally, when it's not in my head, I feel so much better. So I put things down on a to-do list, and I have an A4 diary, and I put things on days that I need to do things. So I know I've got some stuff that I've got to specifically do tomorrow, as an example. So on Tuesday, when I was working at home in the afternoon, I wrote down some stuff on Friday because I knew that I didn't have to do it today, but I have to do it on Friday. That works really well for me. And then God, I was going to say something then. Obviously, complete blank there. Whoa, it's gone.
What do you call it?
Brain fart.
Brain fart. It's completely
Brain
gone.
farted.
It's completely gone. But I do walking as well. So on Monday, I had a whole day sitting, doing reports, and I had to do quite a lot. So I made myself at 12 o'clock, headphones on, walked around the village for an hour. And do you know what? When I do that, I always, 8 out of 10 times, I come back with an idea. I think there's something really creative about walking outside and the nature bit. And I think, oh, I haven't thought about that. Come back, write it down. So there's value in doing that as well. It's not just getting away from the desk.
Definitely.
Brilliant.
Yeah, love it.
Brilliant. So a nice question now. Well, maybe not so nice, I don't know. If you had to survive for 6 months, what 3 things would you take with you? Karma.
Okay, so I probably should have put things like food and water and I don't know, a coat or something, but I didn't. So I would take a book. So I'd either take a historical novel or I'd probably take like a self-help book, something like The Courage to Be Disliked, you know, a book that really kind of makes you think. I would also take my trainers so I could run, walk and explore, assuming that where I am to survive is kind of doable to do that in. And I would take a sketch pad because I don't draw enough, so I would... That would fill my time, and it's quite cathartic
Interesting.
drawing. So, and then I thought afterwards, did you mean like in terms of like survive? Because none of those would really help me. Maybe my trainers because I could run away, but that's about it.
Who knows? Yeah, interesting. I think it's quite interesting what it says about you as a person, don't you? My three things would be a book again, but a book or maybe a journal, because actually I'd like to document what I was going through.
Brilliant.
But what I haven't put down is a pen or a pencil.
Ah.
So slim
It's one that comes with it.
It's in the spine.
Yeah.
And these two things need a little bit of technology, but I'm going to, bypass that. I'd take a speaker because I want to listen to music, and I'd take my phone because my phone would have multiple uses. So it'd be a phone, I could write things down on it, I could play my music through my speaker. How I would charge my phone and my Bluetooth speaker, we don't need to worry about that.
Yes,
they're
semantics.
They're the three things that I would take.
Brilliant.
What about you, Leslie?
I'm a little similar to you, if I'm honest. So we don't always know what we're going to have as a question, but this particular one we did, didn't we? So I was in the car yesterday with my husband, and I said to him, "Oh, what would you have?" And he goes, "Well, I know what you'd have." And I said, "What's that then?" And he said, "My phone, my laptop, and him." And it was quite funny. I haven't got him on my list now.
You might need a toolbox as well, though, because you might need to have a nap.
So I actually would have a journal as well. But I didn't think of a pen, but let's just think it's in the spine of the book. It's great. So, yeah, to write everything down. I actually had a family photo to think why I'm away for 6 months, just to keep an eye on it, just to remind me of my children and my husband, who's not coming with me.
Because he's asleep on his toolbox.
And then I thought my phone as well, but I thought maybe I could get some solar panel charger thing.
Hold on, you've exceeded
really
the
thought
three.
it
We're like 5 here.
Come on.
That's true.
Right, I'm
Okay.
coming away with you. Because
Okay, I've got more. Okay, so I'm going to have a family photo, a journal, and my phone, but I don't know how I'm charging my phone. Let's just think of a solar panel, something.
Exactly.
So yeah, they were my three things.
Brilliant, love it. Fantastic. So, what are we all up to? What's coming up in our world in the next few weeks or 2 weeks before we're on air again? On air. That sounds funny, doesn't it?
Where
On
does
air.
it
I don't think
go?
I've ever said that. I don't think I've ever said
live on air.
before we're on air again.
I wonder if Nathan thinks like that every time he goes on his radio every day. He's like, I'm on air today.
I'm sure.
We'll
Nathan's
try and
on
get
air
him
is
on.
very different from our on air.
We'll try and get him on at some point.
But what have you got coming up, Karma?
No, sorry. No, I jumped in, but you carry on.
So I've got some lovely evenings out with various friends, which I'm really looking forward to, and more history, I'm afraid. But I am also off to Bristol to visit Acton Court, which is where I've got to make sure I've written this down to make sure I get this right, otherwise I'm going to let myself down. So this is where Henry VIII stayed with Anne Boleyn while on his summer progress around the West Country. It only opens 1 month every year. And due to decline in fortunes, it's been left pretty much as it was. So it's a pretty near intact Tudor building, and I cannot wait. We all, it's no secret how much I love my Tudor history.
wow.
And I stayed in Thornbury Castle for a wedding anniversary a few years ago, and that's sort of part of the same tour. So that's it.
And
So
Bristol is fab.
Oh, I love Bristol.
Bristol, yeah, it's just outside of, but Bristol Docks is amazing.
Oh my
I
God,
haven't been for years, but I might see if we can swing past there as well.
I worked for a marketing agency in Bristol for 6 years.
Did
I
you?
used to, yeah. So
love Bristol.
I used to go there 1 day a week, and then obviously I used to have clients and variety of things going on from home for the other days. But we used to spend sometimes some overnights there. So when I first started, I never, ever knew Bristol. And a couple of times I'd been in the office on a Friday and Jack and Richard drove to me and we then spent the weekend in Bristol. But Bristol is amazing. I love Bristol.
The only thing I'm not
I
so
do.
sure on is the accent.
I'm just going to try and do it
Say
then.
no more.
You're going to try and do it?
Yeah, I can't do it either.
No, I can't do it.
Bristolian, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
yeah.
I love Bristol too, but because my son Anthony lived there. So
I
yeah,
didn't know that.
we went down there and just would visit and stuff. But I'm the total opposite to you, Karma. You can go and see your Tudor house while I sit on the dock drinking a cocktail. Thanks. I'll wait for you there. So we're very, very different, aren't we?
We are.
Probably why we get on so well, the three of us. I have a party coming up, as I mentioned earlier, so I'm preparing for that. very, very excited. We're making the table decorations this weekend and stuff. So, yeah, really exciting stuff there. But then on the other side, I am studying, which I'm not looking forward to. My first exam is on the 19th of June. So, yeah, I've really got some serious studying to get into my brain. I think as we get older, my brain just doesn't hold things as much as it used to. I don't even know if it used to hold things, but it seems to not want to hold things now. So, wish me luck.
Oh, yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thanks.
What have I got? I've got a spa day, actually. So Jack, my lovely son, brought me for Mother's Day a spa day voucher. Or did he buy it for my birthday? And actually, he bought it for my birthday. So I'm doing that one day next week. So that would be nice. I've got lots of birthdays coming up. So his birthday, my son Jack's birthday, at the end of June. 19, how can that be?
Oh my goodness, I feel so old.
And then my partner Richard's birthday, although he's not around on his birthday, as in with me, but we'll celebrate the week.
Yeah, that sounded really dark. Doesn't know what's coming yet.
I'll explain why on another episode. But we'll be celebrating the following week with other family members, so that's good. And then I've got a little bit of time on my own, so I'm going to go shopping one day, because you might recall that one day I said I really like shopping, so I'm going to take myself off somewhere. I haven't decided where.
Aww.
And I've got a party coming up soon, so I might even go shopping for something to wear to that party. You never know.
Shame you like solo shopping, otherwise I'd bolt on with you.
Oh no,
maybe you can formulate a plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Matching dresses.
More than
Imagine
that.
that.
It is fancy dress, isn't it? Oh, bless you.
We're excited for that.
So I think that's it. It's a wrap.
Yay.
So if you've laughed, learnt something, or just felt slightly better about your own chaos, our job is definitely done today. So don't forget to follow us on Hustle and Giggle 2025 Instagram. Rate and review us on Spotify or Apple or Amazon, and we're also on YouTube. We'd love some reviews if you've listened to us. Thanks, as always, to Bucks Radio for putting up with us, I guess is the right thing to say.
That is definitely the right thing to say.
And we'll be back next time with a new guest, and you will never guess this one. So until then, keep hustling, keep giggling, and take a nap if you need one. Make it about you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
The Hustle and Giggle Podcast.